Hi, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. I have this adorable little children's book that I've turned into a really fun junk journal filled with authentic, antique, and vintage ephemera, papers, treasures, all kinds of things. No commercial products inside any of my journals. And you can find this and many others on hyperstamper.etsy.com in my Etsy shop. And I always like to upload them so that people can see the history behind each of the pages because they're like little journeys through history. So this sweet little book here is 80 years old. Garden of Stories with the two sweet little children walking through the garden with their flowers. I've kept the spine intact on this one. There was a bit of repair needed down here, but I didn't want to cover it with lace. Now, if somebody were to purchase this, they can message me and let me know to cover that, but I do have some board under there to protect it. I added some vintage beads down the side here that match the cover in those beautiful reds, navies, and blacks, and some ribbon. So let's take a little peek through here. This is handmade lace here that I got at an antique store, and I really love it. I think it adds to the cover as well. The original inscription here. I love the old quill and inkwell inscriptions there. This is just a child wrote a bunch of random numbers up there. And here is our previous king and queen of England. And that was Queen Elizabeth's dad, mom and dad there. So this is a grade 2 school book. So I've kept in those, like I said, the original pages. And and in here I made a little pocket out of lavender and old lace. I just think that's such a pretty title. This is the original Arborite Company samples from the 1940s. And we've got the green pearl here and the gray pearl. I just love it. You can do lots of fun things with that. But that's very cool little piece of vintage there. This is from the 1960s. And this is about 65 years old or 64 years old, this. And let's see here. This would have come from a tea box, the Red Rose Tea Company, and you could collect the little animal cards, all kinds of different themes, but this one was animals, and then you could send away for the book to keep them in. So that's a pretty cool little thing there. And then up here we have I liked the title of this page, I'll Be Happy, and I just loved it, so I thought somebody could enjoy doing something fun with that. And then another children's book page here from this original book. It's an embroidery pattern page. This is a gorgeous plate it's a partial plate from the 1920s. And I just love the vibrant colors in that, just spectacular. I'm going to fill this with something special when I sell it. I always like to have one surprise thing in there. And then this is a plate from 1939, Birds of America. Look at this beautiful plate here with the chickadees. And then on the other side we have these gorgeous little birds here. Aren't they adorable? I just love them so much. There's a vintage music sheet here. And this is from 1909. This is a handwritten piece of music for a lesson on June 4th, 1909. And I think if somebody owns this journal, they should try to find out what that sounds like. It could be an original piece. Would that not be the coolest thing ever? Might have a hit song on your hands. And there's the flip side of that wonderful partial plate there. Sorry, I just want to get this so it doesn't get folded. I just made some flowers out of antique papers of all different kinds. I love this vintage piece of cloth here. And then in the pocket is this fun receipt from the 1970s and some vintage paper on the back for journaling on. It's very soft. I love the textures. I try to get as much texture in here as I can, and then being original is even better. That's just a blank journal page, ledger page, sorry, from the 1930s. It was never written on. And then this here is a 1940s postcard from Niagara Falls. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the color on that. It's like brand new, just wonderful. And then here is a vintage hanky that I just thought was pretty and wanted to include that in there as well. Just some fun clusters here. Again, there's a little piece of book spine down there. And in here, I've got just this really fun page here. Look at this. How fun is that? Wall decals. And then these really hilarious advertisements. This is from the 50s. I think it's hysterical. Woman's Day magazine. There we go. some vintage trim here. And then this is from an old bookkeeping made simple. So you can journal on the front and back of that. I just love how well it's been discolored from age. This is from the 1800s. This is from In Farm and Field. So beautiful. Antique paper on the back to journal on and give it some strength. Another little corner pocket here. This is from pre-1905, a book on woodworking. And this is really cool. I just got this on the weekend at a church bazaar. It's a 5-year diary. So I've got like 165 pages in here to use. I'm very excited. So this one here actually has a bit of writing on it from this little travel journal, and I read all of them. They're kind of fun. Very simple, but very endearing. So just stick that back where it lives. And again, there's that blank 1930s ledger page. Children's book page here. This is from, it says here 1965, Payday Game. Just a really fun little card piece there. And these are 3 banknotes from the 1920s, original. And then there's the 1955 stamp collector's book page. And then this here is really cool. It is a student's page from 1928. And the growth of stems. And you can do lots of fun things with that. You can even journal on the back of that as well. Do you want it? Another blank antique page here. This is from the early 1900s, typewritten about, they just captured the news articles from the 1800s. So this was from 1887. Neat, eh? Neato, papito. And then this is just really cool. Look at this. This is just the first page of a book that fell out. And so I found it in my stash. I didn't do any of that. It was there, just colored, but look at that gorgeous image there. It's really pretty. I put a little cluster on there. Great for journaling on. Or you can use it in your mixed media art. Not fun. This is from the early 1900s as well. And this is from the 1950s doily booklet. And look at this photograph. Is it a double? So on this side, it's a little girl in costume at summer camp. Isn't that great? The trumpet. And then over here, 2 little children in their costumes as well. This is an animal and this is a nun. I just think that's adorable. That's an early 1900s book there as well. And here is a vintage plate. This is actually about 51 years old, 52 years old. And beautiful discoloration there. And then we have another one here. Sorry, I'm out of camera. Whoopsie. And then 2 1950s receipts here, one from a dairy and one from Pearl Shop. Fun clusters, a vintage botanical page, beautiful flower images, another children's book page here. And then in here, I pulled this from a magazine from the 40s. I just think that's a really fun advertisement for doilies. And then some antique paper on the back for journaling on. Another cluster, a typing instruction book page. And then this is really cool from the 1920s. It's a map of Brazil. Beautiful colors. It's just so smooth and wonderful. I love these old maps. Love them. This is some vintage students paper, a children's book page here from the 40s, and then this is from a book house book. I just really love the inside cover page there. So that's a fun one. Nice and colorful. Lots of place to journal on. And look at this fun image here. The little boy flying on the butterfly. You see that a lot in the old stories. And then here I've taken this plate from the early 1900s and I made it into a pocket and stuck it with this 1936 Paris, France almanac page. And it's kind of sweet. Lots of satire in there. World War II publication there. And then just put this on the back cover to cover up some scribbles that weren't a lot of fun to look at from a child, an author from Wisconsin. So it's going on Etsy now, hyperstamper.etsy.com. I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. Thanks.